I'd like to call the Planning and Zoning Commission on Monday, December 15th at 6 p.m. to order. Roll call, please.
Sullivan,
Here.
O'Flaherty,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
McMahon,
Here.
Chair Maxwell, quorum present.
Thank you very much. At this point in the meeting, I'm going to ask for an approval of the agenda that's been submitted.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the agenda by Wright, second.
Second.
Second by Fellows. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. At this point in the meeting, I'm going to ask for an approval of the minutes from our December 1st meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion to accept the December 1st minutes from O'Flaherty, second.
Second.
Second from Wright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The minutes from last meeting are approved. This is the public participation portion of the meeting. This is the portion of the meeting where if you are here to speak of something that's not on the agenda, we invite you to come to the podium and address us now. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public participation portion of the meeting down, and I'm going to open it up for new business. We have two items under new business. The first item under new business is a public hearing. So I'm going to open up a public hearing and this is a petition by the Specialized Education of Illinois, Inc. for a rezoning from the LI, Light Industrial District, to the LC, Light Commercial District, for a portion of the property located at 315 North 6th Street. In addition, a petition for a special use permit for a private therapeutic day school for the property located at 315 North 6th Street is also requested. Is there a presentation to be made?
Yes.
You can come to the podium, please, and state your name.
My name is Lindsay Sanchez. Good evening, commission members. As I said, my name is Lindsay Sanchez, and I am zoning counsel for Specialized Education of Illinois, Inc. You might hear us also refer to them as SESI. Am I on now? Can you guys hear me better now? Great. So yes, I'm Lindsay Sanchez. I'm here on behalf of the applicant Specialized Education of Illinois, Inc. Again, you might hear us refer to them as SESI just because it's a long name, but that's the abbreviation that we use. On behalf of my client and our team, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to review the application that we have submitted, including all of our exhibits and considering the requests that we're making tonight. I thought I'd just start by giving you a little bit of overview of our team, the property, what my client intends to use the property for. And then I'm also going to invite one of our team members from the applicant to come up just to give you a little idea of what the applicant actually does so you can get to know them a little bit. So tonight I have Teresa Smith. She is the Deputy Superintendent and Regional Vice President of the applicant with us. Then we also have Lisa Sharp with Sharp Architects, which is the architect that's been engaged by SESI, and then also Mark Gebhardt with Willett Hoffman and Associates. He's doing the engineering on this project. And as I mentioned, Teresa will come up in a few minutes to give you a little idea about what the organization does. So SESI is actually a division of a larger organization called Full Bloom. They operate these types of schools throughout the United States. They've got a very long history of operating therapeutic day schools. This one specifically, SESI will partner with school districts to operate a therapeutic day school for students whose needs can't be met in a traditional school setting. So they include students that may have emotional learning, intellectual disabilities, other health impairments, or other specific learning disabilities. They provide educational therapeutic services to the students throughout the school year. They currently actually operate a therapeutic day school in Belvedere, and the intent is that they will be relocating that therapeutic day school here in DeKalb. The opportunity arose to relocate here, and SESI is very excited and welcomes the opportunity to move to DeKalb because they do actually service students that are in this area as well. So it actually is a welcome opportunity to them. The property that is subject to the application, Dan, did I do this correctly? There we go. So this is an aerial. As we mentioned, it is located at 315 North 6th Street. And it is currently owned by JLAR LLC, and the owner has consented to this application. We've been working alongside the owner to negotiate a lease. The intent is that SESI would lease the property. It consists of approximately 1.81 acres. There's the one-story building that is located on the property, and it is currently actually developed to be used as some kind of day school. The interior of the building, if I advance a couple here, the interior of the building is actually already outfitted with some classrooms, offices, storage rooms, 2 multipurpose rooms, food preparation areas and warming areas, and then therapy rooms and bathrooms. So it currently does have the facilities that would be necessary to operate the therapeutic day school. That being said, SESI does intend to invest a significant amount of money to upgrade the interior of the building and make some modifications, but we do not intend any modifications to the actual floor plan of, the exterior of the building itself. It would all be internal. As I mentioned, the property is currently vacant right now. Previously, it was operated as a therapeutic day school by Camelot Schools. Camelot was actually acquired by SESI's parent organization a couple of years ago. So there is some continuity there as well, which is very nice. As I mentioned, they intend to lease the property. It would serve children between the ages of 3 to 21, with an emphasis probably on kids that are on the younger age. These students do have heightened specialized needs, and this is something that SESI can provide to them. The applicant will partner with school districts, so there will be students there that the school districts can't properly serve their educational therapeutic needs, so we partner with the school districts to be able to provide those services to the students. The applicant is going to employ teachers, therapists, educational support staff, and other support staff. Right now, the current expectation would be at maximum capacity, the applicant would serve 100 students here and have a maximum of 64 staff members. The expectation is that that would take about 12 to 18 months to actually fully maximize the space with the number of students and staff. The location that is in Belvedere right now currently has 60 students. The school itself will be funded primarily through funds from school districts because of that partnership with them. The school is currently, the Belvedere School is currently approved by the Illinois State Board of Education as a non-public school program. This new location will similarly be approved by the Illinois State Board of Education. The intent would be to change the name of the school, so the school would be the High Road School of DeKalb. And then SESI is also accredited by an organization, Cognia. It's a global nonprofit organization that provides accreditation for a variety of different educational institutions. So as we've laid out in our application, we're currently making 2 requests today. The first is to request a map amendment to change the zoning classification of a portion of the property from LI, light industrial, to LC, light commercial. So as you can see, currently the property has 2 zoning designations, and so the request would be that the entire parcel be zoned as light commercial. The second request that we're making then is an application for a special use permit to operate the subject property as a private school, namely a therapeutic day school for children between the ages of 3 and 21. This would be a special use that is allowed under the LI district. So as we've set out in our application, rezoning this property to one contiguous zoning designation would have a significant benefit to the property. As I noted, it is currently laid out and designed to be used as a day school, and a day school is not currently allowed in the LC district, but it is allowed in the LI district. There are a few uses under the LI district that would work with the way that the property is currently laid out. So that would be a very beneficial contiguous rezoning. It also would be consistent with the 2020 comprehensive plan for the city of DeKalb, which notes that the subject property is intended to be used for commercial uses. So it would be consistent with that as well. And as I noted, the subject property itself is very well suited for our specific use. It has the infrastructure that we already need. So while the applicant is intending on investing a significant amount of money to upgrade the building, it's not necessary for us to do massive demolition to make the property work for what the intended use is. So at this time, I'm going to actually introduce Teresa Smith, let her come on over here and just give you an idea of the organization itself, and then I'll come back and talk about a couple of specific issues that are addressed in our application.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Teresa Smith. I've been working with the schools in Illinois under the umbrella of Specialized Education Services, Inc. for the last 19 school years. I also worked with the organization when it was Camelot, which was who ran the program previously in DeKalb. So I'm familiar with the building, the space, the area, and we are excited with the potential opportunity to come back and bring our programming there. What we do really is we're helping children that just aren't able to be served in their traditional school setting. So we do take children in, we would take children in from DeKalb and surrounding areas, and we would provide their school day to them. And what we do a little bit differently is we're able to really customize the schedule for the children, and we provide extensive therapy alongside. So the plans that have been drafted up include spaces for your more traditional academic learning, along with therapeutic supports and services. So we do feel that the space would be optimal for the work that we want to do with children. Does anybody have any specific questions about what we do and how we do it?
I think we can, you give your presentation. And
Okay.
Dan will give the city's presentation, then at that point, we'll probably have questions.
Okay, great. I'm not sure how much detail you want me to go in, but I'll look at, Lindsay, oh, you're behind me. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So the intention with this property as well is that it would operate on a traditional school schedule as well. So the hours of operation would be what you would typically expect for a school as well. We set the specific hours in our application, but again, it would be your traditional school hours, roughly 7 to 7:30 for staff to arrive, and the latest that people would be there would be about 4 or 4:30 as well. So a couple of specific issues. Again, I've noted that we did put together a very extensive rider. We also addressed all of the different factors in the UDO regarding the rezoning as well as the special use permit. I was, in the interest of time, I didn't want to go through each one of them with you guys. I'm certainly happy to if you want to, but I do think we've covered them pretty well in our application. More than happy to answer any questions on those if you would like us to. Some of the things that we do want to address specifically. So parking is one of the issues that we have looked at with respect to this property. So currently, right now, on the property, if you look at this map right here where it says LC District, that property itself, let's see if I can work this properly. Up here, there we go, that is our parking lot right there. We have determined that that lot in and of itself is not sufficient for the number of parking spots that we would need. However, the property owner also owns this lot down here, and so we are in current negotiations with the property owner to include that parking lot in the lease. So between the two lots themselves, that would provide sufficient parking spaces, more than sufficient parking spaces for what would be needed for the school. So that was one issue that we did identify and we were able to address. And again, that parking lot would be the blue lot that is highlighted right there. Another issue that, let me go backwards, that was addressed is the traffic flow. So one of the things that we were trying to address is balancing traffic flow along with student safety. We want to make sure that the students are dropped off as close to the building as possible. It is my understanding previously when the property was operated as a school that the drop-off was actually on North 6th Street. That was before it was converted into the one-way. So that was one of the things that we needed to look into. And so what was determined is a bus pattern that would actually allow the buses to come in off of the North Street, use the alleyway to come alongside so that we can get them in that first lane, to get them dropped off as close to the school as property. The idea would be that they would be coming from either this direction here and would come along here, or they would come in from this direction and circle in here. In either circumstance, they would need to exit right here, so we are proposing to put a new curb cut exit right there. But in this instance then, there's a door that's right here at the property. It would allow the students to be dropped off from the buses on the correct side so that the students aren't having to cross in front of bus traffic as well, and safely get inside the school. I believe Dan hasn't updated. One of the issues that was raised was whether or not the buses, their turning radius would actually be sufficient enough that it is our understanding there are some cars that park along the street here for the residential properties. Mr. Gebhardt was able to run the calculations and confirm that there is enough space here for the buses to safely make the turn without impacting any kind of vehicles that would be parked along this side. So we believe that this would be a sufficient traffic flow for the buses. There is also a proposed traffic flow, and I know it was, here we go, for smaller vehicles. So this would be for just regular cars. Some of these students they're typically transported to and from school either in buses, sometimes like a van provided by the school district, or some kind of rideshare service. On rare occasions, the parents will also drop them off, but it's typically transportation that is provided by the school district. So we do also have a plan that would have traffic coming in, smaller traffic, cars or smaller vans, coming in this way and then just circling around, dropping the students off here and exiting the same way. So we do think that this would be a sufficient traffic flow that would hopefully not impede traffic flow too much, but also would protect the students the best that we can. One of the things that we also have noted is with respect to just the parking in general, and we've reviewed, the staff report has 3 conditions in there. One of the conditions is that we would get the lease for that additional parking lot. We are certainly okay with that condition. We have no issue with that. Another one of the conditions is that we would adequately put adequate signage up in the parking lot so that we can direct traffic the right way. We have absolutely no objections to that, and that would absolutely be our intention, to make sure that everything is properly signed so that buses and anyone else dropping people off know where to go. And then the additional one would be that all staff would be required to park in the parking lot, either located on this lot or across the street. And again, we have no issue with that condition as well. We believe it's reasonable and would have no problem with that. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions after Dan gives his presentation, but we very much appreciate you guys taking the time to consider this. Like I mentioned, CESI is very excited about the opportunity to come back to DeKalb and reestablish its presence here, so thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Sir, staff report, please.
Yeah. Yes, the staff report, Lindsay went very thorough through the report and the request. Again, it's 2 requests. One is to rezone the southern 2/3 of the site from light industrial to light commercial. Light industrial, private school is not permitted or a special use, so in light commercial, it's a special use. So the thought was to make the entire lot one zoning district, light commercial, and then applying for the special use for the private therapeutic day school. And as kind of discussed by Lindsay, the big thing we were looking at, and knowing that was previously a Camelot school, there a very similar operation was the parking and access, student drop-off, pickup, how would that work? So, and they provided very detailed plans and how that would work with the existing parking lot paved area in the north side of the site. Putting in employee staff parking with access off of North 6th Street, And then a drop-off area right in front of the building here, access off the alley off Pine Street, exiting out. As mentioned, they'll add a new curb cut to North Sixth Street. There'll be 2 diagonal spaces lost. With that, is the front of the building from a few years ago. This is this from the summer. There'll be a new curb cut generally where this car is right here, and this is the north parking lot. There's already existing curb cut there. As mentioned, it was in 2021, this was made from 2-way to 1-way street, northbound. And diagonal parking added the west side and a few on the east side too. Did a general survey in the last week or so out there. It was kind of hard because there's a lot of snow cover. I think snow was covering some of the parking spaces, but there was generally 2 to 3 open spaces on the west side. On the east, there's 6 spaces, a couple were open, so, but again, the snow cover, I think some spaces were covered up. So that was changed a few years ago to allow some of the businesses, particularly the housing authority, to have some parking availability for them. Most of those over here do not, they have just a few on-site parking spaces and rely for their employees to park along North Sixth Street. So that was the cause of the condition which they've agreed to, that employee parking for the school will be on the north side, the parking lot, or in the parking lot across Oak Street. No parking allowed on North Sixth Street for the employees. That would be for the other people that work in that area. It's public parking open, but that's a condition we'd want to ensure that, make sure that the parking is kind of reserved for those other businesses that do a lot of on-site parking or have very little. Again, the required parking based on the number of students in our formula in the UDO with 64. The parking on the north side, they're going to get about 40. And then that parking lot to the south would accommodate 50 spaces. So they have plenty of parking between the two for their staff. And they provided drawings showing the turning movements for buses and for vehicles for pickup and drop-off, that they'll be able to make that turn and not interfere with any of the parking, that a little bit of on-street parking allowed in front of the, there's some homes over here, single family. Get the area here. Right over here, there's a few homes and they park on the street, parallel spaces, not diagonal. So the buses will be able to turn, and these buses are not, they're not like school bus size. They're going to be, some will be smaller, as I understand, not fully all school buses, of course. A lot of smaller, half the size or a quarter. So we were happy with those items and those conditions. Think it'd be a good use for the site. This is a zoning map. You can see there is light commercial across the street. And to the west too, it's right on the edge of the central business district. So the light industrial is this kind of antiquated zoning for that area based on some previous uses. And I think the light commercial is appropriate. And the special use, they meet all the findings of fact that were in the staff report, very thorough analysis there. So with the, we're recommending approval based on the findings of fact, and with the conditions, the applicant obtained a lease to park the vehicles on the southwest corner of Oak and North Sixth Street. Again, the employees only park on the north parking lot or the lot across Oak Street. And directional signage added to direct traffic through there. I would also add in that the applicant, they're okay that, which is the request, maximum students of 100 between the ages of 3 and 21 for the site, for the operation, and they've agreed to that. So I think there probably should be a max number of students in there, and that's what they're actually requesting. So as part of the motion, I would ask that you just add that additional condition.
Maximum
on
of
the-
100 students.
Yeah, of 100 students between the ages of 3 and 21, which is what they're requesting.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Dan. I do have one speaker request form in my hand, so I'm going to ask Randy Bordages to come up to the podium. Welcome, Randy.
Good evening, Commissioners. Randy Bordages here representing the Housing Authority of the County of DeKalb. And we are just here publicly to welcome and support Ceci to our neighborhood. And want to thank the City of DeKalb for ensuring that our parking spaces on 6th Street are secured, because we do have limited parking. Network of Nations just moved into the neighborhood, and they are very active with their community. And then, of course, we've got AID. But we just want to say we're here to support it and welcome somebody in that building and use it, and it will be a good neighbor to have. So thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Is there anybody else in the public that wishes to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing at 6:26 PM and open it up to the commissioners for questions and discussion. Does anybody have any questions they need answered?
Go ahead. Just for a frame of reference, how many students were enrolled in Camelot? Or did it vary greatly?
That's a good question. When we were there previously, we had 2 buildings. We had the building that we're discussing today and the
Okay.
building across the street.
Okay.
So the building across, or I guess it's across like the
Alley?
alleyway. That was our main operation. And so our kind of overflow was the building that we're talking about now. So when we pushed towards upwards of 100 children is when we looked to kind of revamp what we were doing, and we moved our program for children with autism to Genoa. We partner with the Genoa Kingston School District and rent one of their schools, and we have a very robust program there. And we moved another portion of that building to Belvedere. So what's interesting is the kind of the rethinking and the reconfiguring into one space.
So roughly the same number
100,
of
yes.
students? Okay.
My question's probably a Dan question. Does the south parking lot have to be rezoned?
No, the
LC.
UDO allows off-site parking if it's within 300 feet to meet the required parking for a lot. You can park off-site if it's within 300 feet. And the zoning of that lot is light industrial, which allows parking lots, so it's allowed. So we don't need to rezone or touch that lot in terms of zoning.
If I may just address your question as well regarding the number of students. The other thing is that the max number of students is set by law. So they would be, the 100 students is the cap, the max of what they could have as well, pursuant to the State Board of Education regulations. So there's a specific number of students that they can have per classroom. So that's how we came up with that number as well. So just for a point of reference.
Okay, cool.
Will there be students that are outside of 428?
Yes, there will be. So whereas we'll serve, hopefully, children who need our programming from DeKalb, we will also service children from about an hour radius around where the property is located. And so there's a number of district partners we'll have. Probably at some point, we'll have between 20 and 25 different district partners that will be sending children to us.
Does DeKalb currently have, what's going on at Cheeseboro? I thought Cheeseboro was something.
They also, that Cheeseboro has another non-public school program
Okay.
in there right now.
All right. Similar to yours?
That's correct, yes. Different type of programming and probably maybe different types of children, but they've gone through the same approval process that we did with the State Board of Education. So similar in that way.
Okay.
I have a question, it might be for you, Dan. Is if Camelot was operating in this location, and it's light industrial now, Did our code change, or did?
Yeah, that occurred before, we didn't find any ordinance or special use permit, so it was whoever at the city at that time determined it was allowable use, I guess, at that
Okay.
time, so. They didn't have to rezone it, there was no special use permit that we could locate, so.
Okay. All right. So just so I'm understanding, right, I mean, you worked at Camelot, and Camelot was purchased by Ceci.
They were purchased by Full Bloom.
Okay.
It'll be 5 years on December 18th of this year. And we were acquired by them,
Okay.
yes,
And what you're proposing is we're going to basically bring something like this back to this location,
that's correct.
and there's no issues from the neighbors that I'm hearing anything from. So, all right. With that being said, this seems like it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's filling a vacant building that is kind of unique, and it was set up for kind of a school, so it's easy to go into, and it's been vacant for a few years, so thought this would be a good use for that location.
Okay.
Do you have full use of, are there other things going on in that building besides the school?
There's not. In fact, what's unique about the building is it still has the murals that we painted when we were there. So Craig Rivetter, who's here, he ran the program and painted some of those murals. And all these years later, we stepped back in and they're still there, and that's kind of sweet to see.
Now, isn't there a huge lower level to that building that?
It's a very interesting lower level, but we do not have interest in using that part of it.
Okay.
Any further questions? If there are none, does anybody want to make a motion on this?
I will.
Adding to the maximum number of students into there.
Yeah, I'll do it. Based on the submitted petition and testimony presented, I move the Planning and Zoning Commission forward its findings of fact as stated in the staff report and the applicant's narrative and writer to the petitions and recommend to the City Council approval of the rezoning from LI, Light Industrial District, to the LC, Light Commercial District, for a portion of the property located at 315 North 6th Street as described in Exhibit A. In addition, a petition for a special use permit for a private therapeutic day school for the property located at 315 North 6th Street described in Exhibit A is recommended for approval, subject to the site plan dated 11/5/25, attached as Exhibit B, and subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant obtains a lease to park vehicles on the lot at the southwest corner of Oak Street and North 6th Streets. 2, employees of the Therapeutic Day School are restricted to park in the area north of the existing building on the subject site or in the parking lot at the southwest corner of Oak Street and North 6th Street. 3, directional signage meeting the UDO requirements shall be placed on the site to guide buses and cars through the parking lot and student drop-off and pickup areas. And 4, maximum of 100 students between 3 and 21 years of age.
We have a motion on the
Second.
floor from O'Flaherty, second from Wright. Roll call, please.
Philippon,
Yes.
O'Flaherty,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
McMahon.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Thank you very much. Good luck. Our second topic of new business tonight is an amended final development plan and final plat. An approval of an amended final development plan and final plat for 217 Franklin Street, Safe Passage. Is there a presentation to be made?
Good evening. My name is Christine Kalina, Development Director at Safe Passage, and this will be a brief summary since this was an approved site building plan on December, I think it was almost about December 15th or December something, 2020 is when you all heard this for the first time. So this is our revision from the original New Beginnings building from a 42,000 square foot two-story structure to a more efficient one-story, 14,025 square foot building with an additional 2,800 square feet for a basement. This change reflects both the availability of funding, including a $2.5 million federal appropriations grant, and our commitment to being fiscally responsible while still meeting the needs of DeKalb County. The updated design includes 18 residential dwellings, improved program flow, and a layout that better supports the trauma-informed care. The reduction in size allows us to focus on what the community truly needs while creating a sustainable facility we can operate long-term. So we've been in the facility that we're in for 43-plus years, and this new one will be there for over 43. The new site plan also increases on-site parking for both clients and staff. In addition, we continue to work with the church, which is located south of our building site, on a shared parking agreement to support overflow and peak hour needs. We do not have that agreement just yet, but we are still in the process of working towards that once we get a little bit further down the road here. Regarding access and landscaping, the revised drawings eliminate all building access points on the Franklin Street side. There is an egress door that faces Franklin Street for the second means of egress from the basement. This door will not have any access from the street, but has been designed for exiting only. Landscaping along the south side has been adjusted accordingly to reflect the new entrance locations and to maintain appropriate site buffering. Additional landscaping buffering added along the north property line to screen the additional parking. And a courtyard has been created and a privacy fence designed to ensure the safety of the clients utilizing the facility. If you have no further questions, I'll let Dan take over from here.
Thank you, Christy. Dan, do you have a presentation?
Yes, thanks, Christy. So background, in 2020, the city rezoned this site from Central Business District to Planned Development Commercial for the shelter. The ordinance required submittal of a final development plan, which they did submit. This is a 2021 approved layout plan that was part of the final development plan. Larger footprint building. They had parking on the east side of the site, access off Franklin and 3rd Street, and also a little service access over here on 2nd. It was a 2-story building and much larger, as Christine's described. So that final development plan was approved in 2021. As you can see with the changes now, particularly it's a 1-story building. Totally different look, smaller footprint in terms of square footage, as Christine described. So enough of a change where we have to bring it back to the commission and council. They added more parking to the site, which is good. Went from 18 to 29 spaces on site. This site actually is in a location where they're not required any on-site parking, but they're providing more for their clients and visitors. And of course, there's a large, lot of public parking in the adjacent area too, with the Vaughn lot up here to the northwest. And then, as mentioned by Christine, they're working with the church, Greek Orthodox Church, to perhaps use some of their parking across Franklin Street. They're also doing a final plat, which is a 1-lot re-subdivision of the lot. They updated the certificates on there. And there's an easement for a sanitary sewer that runs through the site.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah,
That was a weird thing.
ran right under the building, the old DeKalb Clinic. So that was relocated. There's an easement on the plat covering that, so the KWRD has access to that. So they've submitted, in your background materials too, a landscape plan, lighting plan in compliance with the ordinance. The building will be fully sprinkled, an alarm system, a security system will be there. So, and they're looking to start construction soon. They did a ceremonial groundbreaking recently and hoping to be open late 2026.
All right.
So we'd recommend approval. There's a sample motion there provided to you.
Very good. Thank you, Dan. This is not a public hearing.
Right.
Is there anybody here that has any question? I don't think there's anybody here. Okay. So I'm going to just open it up to the commissioners for questions, comments. Nothing.
Looks good. I just hope I hope it's big enough.
It looks like it was significantly sliced in half.
Yeah.
To be fiscally responsible,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Does this, so you're doing this, does this mean you're going to keep the other properties that you currently operate now?
If you go to the mic, Christine, just so we can get you on video. Thanks.
So we're in heavy discussions right now with our capital campaign committee people and our board right now to repurpose the properties that we do own. We do own kind of in a little corridor, about 6 buildings, including the shelter that our clients reside in right now. We don't have that marketing plan out there yet as far as which buildings we're going to start selling off, but yes, that is the plan, is to move forward, and we will. So right now, Safe Passage, we rent the old City Annex building from Pappas Development, and we will continue to lease that from him for our overflow staff. But our residential staff and some of the programs that we run for our residents will take place in the new building for sure. So no need to hold on to all of those spaces when we're trying to condense down into just 2 spaces. We have a couple other spaces that we rent. We got our legal team is over in Sycamore, and then we also have a space downtown DeKalb that we offer another program in, but, and we'll continue to hold on to those if we need them, so.
How many people do you serve now?
How many clients do we have in
Yeah.
our facility now?
Yeah.
Somewhere between 20 and 28, if there's children that we can accommodate in the shelter that we're in right now.
So this
In
is-
5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms,
This is a pretty good increase for you then.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the original plans were even bigger, but really too much for
Mhm.
us to financially probably hold on to for a long period of time.
I'm glad you figured that out.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Seeing no questions, does somebody want to make a motion on this one?
I make a motion. I move that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the amended final development plan and final plat for the Safe Passage facility at 217 Franklin Street per the plans in Exhibit A and subject to all staff comments being addressed prior to the issuance of a building permit and recording of the final plat.
We have a motion on the floor from Wright. Is there a second?
Second?
Second from Fellebaum. Roll call, please.
Philippum,
Yes.
O'Flaherty,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for coming back. Good luck with your planning. That concludes the new portion business of the meeting. Now on to reports. Staff, are there any reports for us?
Yeah, next meeting, January 5th in the new year. We'll have one hearing during the annexation that will be made public or posted in the next few days. The commission will get information on that. And then we'll have reapproval of preliminary and final plan for 145 Fisk Avenue. That's the old St. Mary's Hospital. It was approved for apartments a few years ago. We did get the preliminary and final plans for the site and the final plat. So that's going to go routed back through the Planning and Zoning Commission. It actually expired. So that's getting routed back through. And then the City Council on December 8th approved the Project Vector Data Center, unanimous. And also the youth shelter at 220 College Avenue was approved too,
Saw that.
which went through the commission. And thanks for hard work this year, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any reports from the commissioners? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn from Wright, second.
Second.
Seconded from Fellebaum. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Merry Christmas, everyone. All right.
Merry Christmas.